Hi, I'm Celine Perkins from Perkins Dry Goods. Welcome to part 5 of the Barn Stars Sew-Along. Today we're going to be working on the Blaze Star. The Blaze Star has 3 units, 4-patch, which is Unit A chevron, which is Unit B, and then Unit C is a solid block in the center. Let's get started with Unit A. Unit A is the simplest of blocks. It's a 4-patch with 2 light squares and 2 dark squares. Sew a light and a dark square into a pair or a 2-patch, press toward the dark. Make 2 of these 2 patches. You rotate so that fabrics are opposite one another. Right sides together. Seams will be opposing, so they'll nest right in there. A suggestion is to put it through the sewing machine going against the seam that's folded toward the dark or pressed toward the dark. So that would be with the dark fabric up. When you stitch like this, it kind of locks the seams together because it pushes where the presser foot is coming down. The feed dogs are moving back, and so it kind of locks that in, so you get a really nice point in the middle, or your seams match up really well. Then pressing, you simply press to one side is an option, but if you want to spin these seams, you look at the direction the two patches are going. So you've got one going to the right, one going to the left. And then this seam is going up, which means this seam needs to come down. You pop the seam allowance, the thread in the seam allowance, and then press, and you get a little 4-patch in the middle, and it flattens out the center of your 4-patch unit. Totally optional, but if you want to give it a try, this is a good block to do that on. You'll need to make 4 4-patches. There's only one Blaze Star block in the quilt, so you just make 4 4-patches, and that is Unit A. The next step is Unit B. Unit B is a little bit more complicated, but not too much. You'll start with the medium fabric rectangle and the accent fabric square. Place the square right sides together. You'll have a drawn line diagonally, and you want to stitch on that line just a thread toward the outside corner. Fold it back, make sure everything lines up the way you want it. Then you'll trim to 1/4 inch and press toward the corner. Next step is take another accent square, place it right sides together on the opposite side, stitch on your drawn line corner to corner, check to make sure everything lines up, trim, and then press. You'll have an area here where the squares overlap that will accommodate your seam allowance. The next part of Unit B is to take the background fabric or light rectangle, a medium fabric square, draw a line diagonally, stitch just a thread toward that outside corner, fold it back to check, trim, and then you'll press toward the corner. Add another medium fabric square to the opposite end, stitch just next to that drawn line, fold it back and check, trim, and then press to the corner. So you'll have these 2 units, these 2 flying geese units for each Unit B. And the next step is to put them together. And to create the chevron, you put the 2 medium fabric sides against each other, and then you will place them right sides together, stitch. I like to have the side of the unit up where these seams are crossing. I can see where I need to stitch to save my point. So you press it open, and this one, it won't be too easy to get them together wrong, because you've got this accent fabric here. So that's how you put them together. And then pressing, you'll want to press this seam open. It's going to be next to the 4-patch block, and no matter how you press the 4-patch block, you will never get each seam where they meet up to be going the right direction so that they can interlock or nest. So you'll make 4 of these units for the Blaze Star block. And that is Unit B. Assembling the block is much like all of the other blocks we've done thus far. It's based on a 9-patch setup. So top row, make sure your 4 patches are angling in toward the center. So you want the dark fabric against the accent fabric here. Center row, you want these chevrons pointing in toward this Unit C solid square. And then the bottom row is really the same as the top row, it's just flipped around. But you do want your dark squares next to your accent fabric triangles. When you sew it together, you're going to press out on this side, in for the middle row, and out. Then the seams will nest at these intersections and reduce the bulk. You'll also press away from the center, so away from the center as the last pressing. You'll make 1 of these Blaze Star blocks, and that's it for part 5 of the Barn Star Sew Along. Thanks for watching.